Hey y'all, I'm down here kind of in my happy place, and I wanted to talk to you about something that I thought of about the other day. I was in the shower washing myself with Kami Cleanser soap. And I was thinking about the soap. They advertise that they use all natural materials. They don't use any of these chemicals that are in basically every other soap out there that can potentially mess with your hormones, right? So it seems like every day I read about some new thing that can potentially mess with your hormones. What we know for a fact is that on average men's testosterone levels are taking a nosedive, and we know for a fact that there are a lot of things that can do this, from your lifestyle, your activity, what you eat, etc. But when it comes to actually nailing something down, it seems like nobody wants to do it. There's not money in it. But I was sitting here thinking about this, and it led me to think about everything else. Let's talk about everything else. Stick around. This is a mindset video. Welcome to the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. I am Jacob, your host. This channel is made possible through the support of my viewers. You can support this channel either by going to my website, beachandtactical.com, where I sell custom-made, made-to-order rifle slings. I'm also currently doing a pre-sale on our I Hate Communists t-shirts. I also have a knife brand, Exodus Knife and Tool, premium knives made in Michigan for practical use. And this month's channel sponsor is Stand Strong Art. I would encourage you to check him out, especially for his Christian warrior themed gear. So, links to how you can support this channel will be in the description box below, to include my Patreon and affiliate links. Let's get you right back to the content. Alright, so a mindset video, what does that mean? That means that I'm not here to pull out scientific charts, data sheets, graphs. I'm not here to irrefutably prove anything to you. I am here because I have come upon a pattern of thought process that I want to share with you that could be beneficial. So I use Kami Cleanser soap. Do I think that that in and of itself is going to raise my testosterone levels and boost me to Superman status? Absolutely not. Okay, that's not the thought process there. I will say I really like using the soap. I have used no shampoo, conditioner, or any other soap for a few months now. I really like Kami Cleanser soap, and the people that own it are really cool people. So think about it. You buy premium soap, what are you spending extra every year? Like 30 bucks? You look at a bar of soap and you're like, that's too expensive. I've got to buy this Axe bullcrap freaking makes teenage girls. I'm not even gonna go into it. So it's too, what are you saving? You support a good company with a product that you can purchase repeatedly, and what's it gonna cost you extra a year? 50 bucks? Anyways, so that's why I buy it. But I was thinking about what was said, and also Kami Cleanser soap is one branch of the business. The other is Healthy Soap Mama. You can check out both of those if you like the marketing of one better than the other. But there are so many things out there that they're going to tell you is going to kill you, is going to change your hormones, etc., etc., etc. I'm going to list a few that I've heard of. I'm not going to list all of them. So what I want you to do in the comment section below, list the dietary or lifestyle or whatever it is, facts or conspiracies that aren't mentioned in this video that you have either heard of or that you truly and adamantly believe in. But let's talk about plastics. Microplastics, BPAs. It's not only BPA that has these negative effects. I believe it's BPB as well. Some of the companies, what they did is they just slightly changed the chemical composition of their plastics. It does the same thing, but they can now advertise that it's not BPA, right? We know for a fact, because there's actually been money and studies behind it, that this has negative side effects. But what about chemtrails, okay? What about fluoride in your water? What about preservatives? What about food dyes? What about vegan diets? What about carnivore diets? What about diesel fumes, CO2 levels? It seems like there are so many chemical things out there in our everyday lives. Lead. Everybody thought lead was a conspiracy theory. It's not, guys. You don't want too much lead in your blood. It's not a conspiracy. We've got so many of these chemical things that are affecting our bodies and our lives that we're ingesting or breathing or doing every single day, besides the fact that our lifestyles have become immobile. People have just sat around. So we've got these chemicals that are not only supposed to or reportedly affecting our hormone balances, but our ability to think, our thought process, our brain, everything else. So here's the thought process here. And I mentioned a few, there's like hundreds. What if half of them, half of these conspiracy theories, half of these things, what if half of them are halfway true? See, the issue, in my opinion, is that we run into people whose life goal and mission is to get you to stop using plastic. You need stainless steel and you need glass, right? No more plastics. Paper, stainless steel, glass. Those are the things you need. They will change your life. And then we've got other people whose life mission is to let you know that the chemicals in the water and the microplastics are making the frogs gay, or that the chemtrails are whatever the chemtrails do, or that Monsanto GMO foods, or that soy is raising your estrogen levels, or that the cholesterol in eggs is raising your blood cholesterol. Don't believe, that's so stupid. And that's been scientifically proven to be wrong for over a decade now, and I still have to hear it. It's ignorant. Anyways, let's say half of these things are halfway true. Let's just say it's not just the microplastics, which are a fact, and BPA is a fact. It's not just that. Let's say it's also the fluoride. Let's say it's also 2 or 3 other things. Surely these things are working together. The problem that I see with people focusing and spending their life and all of their focus on just one of these items is surely these things work together. Who would want that? Who would actively be promoting that? I can't prove to you that the fluoride in water is making your brain slow and making you apathetic. I can't do it. But what can I prove? I can prove that America is starving and that the world is starving, but America especially is starving. How can that be? Most obese country in the world, right? Look around. These people are obese because they're intaking massive amounts of food and calories that are deprived of nutrition. And they are living a stagnant lifestyle. But I guarantee you, I've known some fat people that live some obese people. Let me clarify that. I've known some obese people that live some very active lifestyles. Their body is starving. Underneath all of that fat is not enough muscle to do more than the absolute, sometimes not even enough. Not even enough muscle to do the absolute minimum. And you not only see that in your obese Americans. What about all of your Americans who are not obese? Maybe they're not even fat. But, you know, can they go out and walk 3 or 4 miles? Maybe not. We're talking about something with far-ranging variables. We're talking about health issues. We're talking about genetic issues. We're talking about injuries. We're talking about lifestyle. We're talking about food. We're talking about water. But look at the food that people eat and the lifestyle that's been promoted. What I'm telling you is all of these things work together, and they've all been engineered this way. I talk about social engineering and I talk about psyops. Let's talk about how a two-parent family needs to work, both parents need to work more hours to achieve a quality of living than a single parent would have had to work for an equivalent or superior quality of living before. I mean, this can even go into economic, and we can talk about our relations with China and how we basically traded our children's lives and our children's economy for a quick boost in the economy in the 90s under Clinton or even before. Okay, so what I'm telling you is it's not just one thing. It's too easy to dismiss one thing, even if it is microplastics, exercise, lifestyle, everything. It's too easy to dismiss just one thing because it's too easy to point at someone and say, look at that guy. He's been using BPA bottles for the last 800 years. Let's talk about tobacco. Let's talk about alcohol and how society has been convinced that they need it and that they can't get off of it. The government will sit here and they'll raise taxes and they'll rally against it, but remember, all attention is good attention. All of this attention that the government is giving to tobacco is making it more popular, and they're raising the taxes and they're getting rich off of it. They're getting rich off of getting you hooked onto poison. Why would they do this? We always come to the why. The level of apathy, and we're going to talk about a Trojan horse video here in the future a little bit, but the level of apathy in America is what is truly shocking. People clearly doing things that are absolutely wrong. People claiming to be conservatives while their partner is CIA, and they're freaking writing down your names, preparing for the boxcars. And people want to be apathetic and say, well, let's just look at the good. They look at Hillary Clinton. Well, let's just look at the good. They look at Dan Crenshaw or Tulsi Gabbard or Joe Rogan. Let's just look at the good. They don't care. They don't want to care. They don't have the time to care. They don't have the motivation to care. How did we get here? How did we get to a morbidly obese, dependent, sick, mentally and physically sick society? All of these things work together. America is starving physically, mentally, spiritually starving. And if you want to separate yourselves from that, you can get a Berkey filter and some stainless steel bottles. You can use natural soaps from Kami Cleanser soap. You can get more exercise. You can filter your water to get the fluoride and the chlorine and some of this crap out of it. But that's too hard. I have to do something. I can't just go to work all day, think about nothing, try to get off of work, and then go home and try not to think about my life problems, crack a few beers, and then pass out and spend my entire day not thinking. I have to think about things? It's not that hard. You don't have, everything that you buy doesn't have to be made in China. Sometimes you don't have a choice, guys. I think that my camera that I'm using here, I think it was made in South Korea, I think. Which, you know, that's not bad. I don't mind. It's a whole lot better than China. But it's not America. Where can I buy an American-made vlogging camera? Okay. I don't mind buying from most countries that aren't communist and don't use slave labor. But no country that I buy from would be as good for me as America, because I would like to employ my neighbors in making things, okay? But there are certain things that we just can't do. I can't filter the air that I breathe. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter how many masks you put on your face, you can't filter the air that you're breathing, and that's just nasty anyways. You're just creating bacteria to die in your mouth, whatever. You know, there are things that you can't do, but there are so many things that you can do. There are so many things that don't even necessarily cost you any extra that you can buy made in the USA. That you can get that extra 5 or 10 minutes. Go on a walk. Some Americans would be greatly benefited to just go on a walk. Put some earphones in, listen to your favorite audiobook, and go on a walk. Listen to some podcasts, whatever you want. Walk. It's raining. Walk. It's hot. Walk. Make it work. Lift, right? I hear people say it's too expensive to eat healthy. It's not. It's not too expensive to eat healthy. It's too hard because you have to make your own food and you're probably picky. Probably has something to do with that social engineering, right? You know, and guys, most of you won't believe this. I've proved it to my friends and family and stuff like that, but I would buy at Kroger or Walmart, I would buy 5 dozen eggs for $3.80. It didn't make any, the eggs didn't taste as good, I'll admit that. It didn't make any sense though, because a dozen eggs was like $2.80, and 5 dozen eggs was $3.50. So I massively supplemented my diets with eggs, and it cost me next to nothing, right? But you're probably eating healthy if you're making your own food. Man, that takes meal planning, and I can't just pop it in the microwave, and I have to think about all of this stuff to do. It is hard. Don't get me wrong. I am very blessed to have a wife that cooks for me. I can cook myself. If I wasn't around my wife, I would not eat as well. And when I say I would not eat as well, I don't think I would eat more fast food and preservative-filled food. What I would eat would be less tasty food, easier food. I'd eat a lot more eggs, and my food would not taste as good. I would not have nearly as much variety. It's a lot harder to cook for yourself. I'd even be happy cooking a meal for my family, my wife and my kids, which I do sometimes, and put effort into it. But if it's just me at home, yeah, admittedly, it's really hard. It's all a motivation thing. And so part of all of this is that people would rather die than go through the effort. You can't focus on one thing. How does fluoride interact with microplastics? How do all of these chemicals that we're getting from all of these different sources, fast food makes me sick the first time. Disgusting. I feel like crap every single time. You know that your McDonald's fries are fried twice or 3 times, but in between being fried and frozen, they're basted for hours in sugar, in corn syrup, right? You can find on Shotgun Red, he's got like the actual McDonald's recipe to make legit McDonald's fries from potatoes, and it involves basting your fries in sugar. They work so hard to make all of this food long-lasting and quick to prepare and tasty, but they're working hard to make this food unhealthy. So if you make your own food, you almost can't make it as unhealthy on purpose as they can for everybody. You take a tablespoon of sugar and put into your coffee, that's 12 grams of sugar. You drink a soda and it's got 70, 80, 120 grams of sugar or something. What? How? How do you get so much sugar in there? Guys, so the problem is we have this much of the picture. Okay, think about this. Your government has all of these evil and corrupt people working for them. Your government is run by pedophiles who are actively trying to manipulate our country, actively trying to run Trojan horses to violate your rights and your morality and to make you want it. They are actively trying to make you apathetic so that you will produce as much of what they want while using as little as possible. They want all of the money and all of the resources from themselves and none of the work. People get so offended when they talk about Jews understandably, and they're like, they call us goyim. You know that means that we're just livestock or just like cattle to them? You are livestock. Look at your life. What do you produce? For yourself. You're livestock. It doesn't matter what the Jews call you. It doesn't matter what the pedophiles call you. It doesn't matter what the fake conservatives call you. What are you doing for your family? Your children, your kids, your investments, the only ones that matter. Are you investing time with them? Or are you going and working on a chicken farm as a full-time job and then coming home and making videos in your closet to support your imaginary little fantasy about who you actually are? I led a whole region of 3%ers, embarrassingly, for a time, and nobody would do anything. You sit here and you talk about overthrowing the government and smoking all of your enemies. When's the last time you actually actively trained or shot your gun or went on a ruck march? When's the last time you actually looked to improve yourself, your capabilities? When's the last time you got the crap beat out of you? When's the last time you had a reality check shooting with other people and you were like, wow, that person would plug me full of holes really well, better than I would plug them with holes? When's the last time that you failed and you had a reality check and you realized how much you have left to learn? That's what everybody is avoiding. You don't want to go train. It's not always because of time. It's not always because of the money. Man, I'm not ready to train yet because I have to practice before I go. What are you talking about? You mean you have to go practice doing everything wrong before you go to a class to do it right so that you are going to be less embarrassed around people that you haven't been practicing or that you didn't already get training? Go down to the local mixed martial arts gym, take a Brazilian jiu-jitsu class, and they will go easy on you. And even if they don't hurt you, you will have trouble walking for a week because you'll be so sore. Go get a reality check, eat healthy food, get some exercise. Goodness. Freaking goodness. I go out of my way to do these videos to help people. And they're like, he's just doing this to talk down to us. I don't need training. What's this guy know? Freaking... here's the deal, guys. If you work a full-time job and you have a family, you don't have time to constantly be thinking about these things, and I understand that. If you work a full-time job, you're not going to understand the difficulties of running your own business. You're not going to understand the economy and true economy intimately, and I understand that. If you work a full-time job and you didn't go overseas and see how incompetent everybody is and how screwed up what we're doing actually is, I understand that. If you did go overseas and you didn't work with psyops, and you didn't see how people are being manipulated and you're being manipulated, I understand that. And if you did all of those things and you didn't learn from it, I understand that. Because people don't like to think about this stuff and people don't like to ask questions, but you have to start thinking and get outside of your comfort zone because the pedophiles and the satanic freaking cultists are actively trying to use you up and kill you. They want you to work until you're 60 or 65, and then they want you to die in 5 to 10 years, and they only want to give you back during that time 1/1000th of what you gave to them to get a little pittance in return. They want you to pay all of your money to insurance companies and to have your entire life regulated by insurance and to be regulated by fear. They want in the Christian churches for the people to be talking to you about COVID and for you to be living in fear when Jesus Christ tells you not to fear. In fact, you cannot love if you fear. You say that you believe in an almighty God, and then you're terrified of everything on the news. You say that you believe in the Almighty God and that you want to pick up your cross and follow Him, but you're afraid of death or imprisonment? Do you actually believe in God? Do you actually believe in an Almighty God? Do you actually believe in your salvation? Do you actually believe you're going to go to heaven for eternity, which means that this life is less than a blink? Or are you just trying to live as easy as possible right now? So, the Trojan video is going to be better than this one. I actually have to do some work on that one. And I need to do some other reviews and crap like that. My finger is healing well. This cut into my fingernail down into the skin underneath the fingernail has kept me from having some adventures the last couple weeks. We got here, review some products. I need to teach more tactics, and I need to get my class schedule ready. I'm also going to work on a new curriculum for a Patriots class, which will focus on patrolling, guard, bushcraft, and freaking self-preservation without the logistical support that our military has come to be used to. A lot of this stuff is mindset, guys, and America's mindset is dead. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I hope that you have a blessed day. If you're really pissed off, write me a whole comment about why. And